and that kind of thing. We wanted to make better shooters out of them, and that kind of thing. And so, but then whenever and that's when the mission statement for the Outlaw Gang was written at that point. And I guess that would be the turning point. That's probably what she's talking about there.
Okay. And I see I got some people trying to call in here.
Okay.
It's not working out too well right now. So go ahead and try calling in again. We had two people call in, but could not get them in on time. So go ahead and call in again. But now there's another question in the chat as well. Well, actually, here we'll take this call here. Oh, hi, you're on the. Hang it, 1 second. Okay, hi, you're on the Resistance.
Hi, I got a question for Colt.
Okay, can I get your name?
Iris.
Iris, okay. Go ahead.
Yes, I need to find out, okay, what age did Dylan start shooting at again?
What age did he start? He started at 5?
Yes. Okay, and what type of gun would be the best to show my daughter to start shooting?
For your daughter, probably 22. How old is she?
She's 15 now.
Oh, she's 15 now?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she could, whatever she's comfortable with. I mean, 22s are good. 38s is an excellent caliber. When she's 15, she definitely could handle that, no problem. But yeah, I mean, 22s are inexpensive to shoot, and it's good to learn on from there.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Dylan was pretty young when he first started, and it was 22s was basically all he could shoot at that point.
Yeah, that's what he felt comfortable with.
Right. Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yep. Thank you for calling
Thank
in.
You.
So, okay, so there you go. So you would recommend a 22 for?
Yeah, I mean, if she's 15, she hasn't ever shot before. 22 is a great place to start, and then kind of experiment from there. And I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it. You can kind of play around with different things, and so you get exactly what you like.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I was actually going to ask the same question for my daughter, but she's 12 years old, and
yeah,
I'm not sure, how well. I don't think she's really too comfortable with the whole gun thing yet.
Well, that's a good reason for 22 being a very good place to start, because it's very unintimidating. You know what I'm saying? They're not real loud. Of course, you need to wear eye protection and ear protection, but there's not a lot of recoil. That kind of thing. Then you don't want to get something that's going to kick them and that kind of thing just right off the bat, because that'll turn them off. Immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I was kind of because I was kind of thinking which gun for me to get, for, around the household and stuff like that. But
sure.
Whether handgun or rifle or, because I mean, honestly, when it comes to shooting, I'm a novice. Okay.
Yeah.
I have some, Army training with M16A2. And for some odd reason, that was the very first time I ever fired any firearm, any above a BB gun. It was the first time I fired, and I kid you not. The first 3 shots were dead center mass.
Awesome.
And nice clump. And then the 4th shot was just way off and nowhere. But, and the drill sergeant was just like, how is this possible? It's like, beats me. I've never shot one of these before. So, but other than that, the only experience I've had is with a Glock 40, Glock 40 caliber. And, and I know some people, don't really like Glocks all too much. So, but, I mean,
for great guns are bulletproof.
Yeah, well, at the time I was going for law enforcement and stuff, and that was the firearm of the industry was, the Glock.
Right.
So, so it only made sense to, have a gun that I was going to be using. So, but,
sure.
But, I noticed, just from a novice point of view, there's a lot that goes into when you're firing a gun. Not only is it, your trigger squeeze, because you squeeze it too hard, you might shank it to the left or to the right, or, if your wrist isn't, stiff enough or straight enough, or, you can't handle the recoil, it might go up or down, or, there's actually a pretty good science to this.
Right. Absolutely. No doubt about that. And, and it all depends on what you need it for, and you're talking about just home protection and that kind of thing, you can't beat a 12-gauge shotgun, okay? You got point in the general area. There's nothing scarier than a 12-gauge. You're staring down a 12-gauge, that kind of thing. So, that's for home defense. That's a very good choice. Especially if you don't have a whole lot of shooting time and that kind of thing. And there's less things to have to manipulate and all that as well. So one other thing to consider, it all depends on what you're doing with them.
Okay. Yeah, and see, I think I'd have to just warm her up to the idea of even getting close to one of those things. So,
yeah, I mean, I would for your daughter, I wouldn't recommend that. I was talking about home use, home defense. But if you're talking about just getting her started, go and you're not really sure, you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy a Heritage 22. They're like $130, or it's a 6-shooter, and it's a single action pistol, and they don't cost a lot of money, and but they're decent guns for what they are, and definitely for what they cost, and you don't have an arm and a leg in it. So if she doesn't like it, you can get most of your money back out of it, and if you wanted to, or if you wanted to, move into something else later on, type of thing. So, that's one way of going about it as well, without breaking the bank, so to speak.
Okay. Well, and for some reason my Skype is not letting me answer my phone calls. We have people we have people trying to call in and everything. It's just I can't merge the calls for some reason.
That's all right.
You gotta love live radio. So, but okay. So now we do have another question. One from Joe in the chat room. What's your take on mandatory background checks?
We already have those. Unless you have a concealed carry permit, and if you qualify for a concealed carry permit, then your background has already been thoroughly checked. Okay. But other than that, if you don't have one, they already do background checks on you every time that you buy a firearm. As far as like the gun show law goes, where you can sell to an individual and that kind of thing. I don't know. It's kind of up for debate, I guess. But I'm not for it myself personally. But I guess there's arguments both ways.
Okay. Well, and I do know there's there are background checks in every state, and even if we go back to Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza actually was denied the purchase of an AR-15.
Right.
So in a sense, the gun laws actually worked. So,
right.
It's just,
Yeah, but
his mom didn't keep it in a good enough, a good safe.
Exactly.
Now, Chris has another question. Wants to know your take on Department of Homeland Security purchasing the 2,700 roadside bomb vehicles and billions of hollow point rounds.
I didn't see the bill for them all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know for a fact that they actually did that. If they did do that for sure.
Well, I was going to say there are pictures of the vehicles and videos of them being transported and stuff like that.
Right, and what they're planning on using them for, they haven't. In my opinion, they need to have a valid reason for it, and they need to come forth and say, "Hey, this is why we bought this stuff," And if they're being secretive about it, then I would say then they need to go into surplus.
Right. Okay. So let's see here. I know we have another question. We have Rick in the chat room as well. Pretty much agreeing with basically what you said. Most responsible gun owners don't mind background checks. And
I welcome them.
Right now, what about registration? Because now that has been kind of a hot topic.
No, to me that's against our rights, and that's most definitely not.
Okay.
I definitely would not promote that for sure.
Okay, so
as far as private sales go, I think that there may be. I wouldn't feel good about a gun that I purchased in my name going to somebody that I didn't know. I don't do that, So, and if I was going to sell something to somebody I did not know, I would want their background check. I'd want them to have to go through the exact same thing that I went through to buy it, I guess. In my opinion. I think that would be fair. That's fair. I mean, that's something that it helps with, keeping tabs on what, who gets what type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Now, but there's obviously some controversy on, in the background checks, like what would be a disqualifying factor. Like if the Brady bill came back into place, a lot of people, including myself, wouldn't be able to own a firearm.
Well, that would no. The stuff that was in the Brady bill is ridiculous, and that was just a ploy, to do a gun grab is all that was about. But everything all that did not do anything to curtail crime. None of the laws that nothing about the Brady bill did anything to curtail any type of violent crime or anything like that. So, in my opinion, that is definitely not something that needs to happen again or anything like it.
Okay. So, but you do agree that there should be some mental health clauses in there, or I guess this is where the debate is okay, yes, we agree with the background checks, but what disqualifies you from owning a gun, or do you put limits, like if you haven't been institutionalized for in the last 5 years or something like that, or if you haven't committed a crime in so long, or what, or I guess what would you, for you, being a obviously an avid gun owner and gun activist, what would you say would be things that would disqualify people to own firearms?
I think any type of violent crime, most definitely. Violent felony. That would that would definitely disqualify them.